Hi there, you are listening to the Being Unstoppable podcast, where we talk about being unstoppable in your brand, business, and life. I'm your host, Carolee Fontanelli, and as an entrepreneur, lawyer, course creator, and author, I understand what it takes to strive for the next level. Through 20 years of having several businesses, making a ton of mistakes, and celebrating loads of success, I love to share my secret sauce, tips, and strategies on how you too can become unstoppable. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Being Unstoppable podcast. I'm your host, Carolee Fontanelli, and I am so glad that you are here today tuning on in. No matter where you are tuning in from, whether it is your walk or the car, or maybe your office, I hope that you're having a fabulous day and that your week is going really well too. To say thank you so much to everyone who takes the time to leave a review. I absolutely love hearing from you because when you do a podcast and you put this sort of content out there, you don't actually know who's tuning in. There's not really any way of seeing. All you can see is how many listens you get a week, but you don't actually know who the people are or where they're necessarily tuning in from. So it's fabulous when you do leave a review because I can then feel like, that's so awesome that I'm connecting with you, and, it's just really great. So if you want to head on over to your iTunes account, scroll down to the bottom of the Being Unstoppable podcast, and then you can leave a review underneath that. Let me know where you're tuning in from, what you love about the podcast, and also leave me your Instagram handle so that I can come on over and check you out, give you a follow and a shout out too. So today I wanted to talk to you about something that has been with me in business for my entire business career, which really started for me when I was in my early 20s. I was very, very fortunate to go along to a business event in Auckland, and the event was run by Brad Sugars. Now, this changed the course of my life, this one event that I went along to. At the time, I was 21 years old or 22, and my then husband and I had started a new business. It was an optometry practice. In fact, we might not have even started it yet. He was an optometrist, and we were venturing out into the world of business. And I absolutely loved marketing and getting people in the door. So that was the role that I played. And we went along to this conference. And back then, it was like in the early 2000s, it was an unusual thing to go along to one of these conferences. I'd never been to one before, but I was blown away by it. Brad Sugars was a young gun from Brisbane. So for me, that was like the big smoke. And he spoke about business, and he spoke about creating businesses from nothing and growing them and selling them. And he also spoke about buying businesses that were run down and making them good and then selling them. So that was kind of what the business conference was about. But during this conference, he introduced us to a book. And this book has been absolutely life-changing for me. And so today I wanted to share the book with you because if you are in business, no matter what your business is, whether you have a law firm or a different type of service-based business, whatever it is, if you are in business or you're thinking about going into business, you must read this book. If you have not, you must. It is amazing, and it is one of those books that have stood the test of time. And I want to share some of the wisdom from the book with you today. Now, you might have heard of the book before, or you might have even read it, but even if you have, bear with me because you will get more out of it today. So the book is, drum roll please, I need sound effects, don't I? That's not really a drum roll. You get the picture. The book that we are talking about today and the wisdom that we are talking about today is none other than the E-Myth by Michael Gerber. So why is this book so good? Well, I'm going to tell you all about it. So let me talk to you first about what the E-myth is. The E-myth stands for the entrepreneurial myth. And it's the flawed assumption that people who are experts at whatever certain technical skill that they have will therefore be successful at running a business. The reality is that most of us start a business in the area that we are specialized in or really good at. So for example, I'm a lawyer, so I have a law firm, right? And because I'm a great lawyer and I love serving the clients that I serve, which in my case is family law, then I'm really good at providing that service. So much so that I want to start my own business where I serve my own clients in my family law firm. But then what happens is I get so busy as a family lawyer serving my clients in my family law firm that I don't actually get to run my business. Or I'm so great at being a family lawyer that I'm not being great at being a business owner and neglecting the other things that need to happen in my business for my business to be successful. So the principle of the book is all around just because you're great at what you do doesn't mean that you're great at running a business. And we all know people who are really good at the service they provide. They're a really good technician in their business, but you can see that they really struggle to grow their business and they're working 60 to 80 hours a week. They are exhausted. They're busy working on clients and they're really struggling with the business end of things. So the book E-Myth Revisited is all around how to create a successful business. Now, this book was written in 1986, which I think is fabulous. And then the book was rewritten again in 1994, and that was when it was called The E-Myth Revisited. And obviously, since then, this book is an absolute classic. Now, it is different from most business books, and one of the things I really like about this read is it's really, really simple, and the principles are all very, very relatable. You might already know the statistic that around 80% of businesses or startups fail in the first year. We've all heard of that. And what this book actually does is it digs right into the reason that happens. Michael Gerber explains in the book how running a business and getting technical work done are two completely different things. And he shows us how we can set up a company that depends much more on systems rather than on you. And the whole idea behind the book, or the premise of the book, is that we all start businesses to create more lifestyle, more freedom, and more profit for ourselves. We don't want to work with a boss anymore, right? That's why we have our own business. But what then happens is that we end up working for the worst boss in the world, and that boss is you, because you are working longer hours for less money than ever. And this is so common in all types of businesses, including law firms. A lot of people who come to me to get help with their business, they are in this exact same boat. They started their business to create more freedom and have more fun and have more profit and time for themselves and time to do the things they want to do. And then they end up more bogged down than ever. And so what this book is about is exactly that. And it's about how to elevate yourself so that you're working on your business and not in it. You need to create a business whereby if something happened to you, that you can basically hand over the instructions to anybody and anybody can run it. But what we do is we look after our business and create a business that is so dependent on us that we can't step away. The best way to run a business is to basically make yourself redundant, right? So that you are not the one who's needing to be in there daily. I always joke about my own business. It goes so much better when I'm not there. When I go on holiday, if I take 6 weeks off, I come back and there's been more profit than ever, right? Because I'm not there spending money and everyone and all the systems are there creating income. So that's what you need to do in your business. So 3 of the lessons in the book and how to survive those first years in business are these. having great technical skills does not mean you know how to run a business. So what he's saying around this is that you could be the very best at what you do. And in the book, we follow a lady, and she's a pie maker. She's the best pie maker in the world. She's amazing. But she's exhausted making pies and her business is failing because she's only a pie maker and she's not a business person. So he says you can have great technical skills, but that's not the only thing you need to run a business. Another principle that he digs into is imagine if your business was a nationwide franchise from day one. Now, why this is really important, and it might seem really far-fetched, but this is what I teach people in the Scalable Business Lounge. Start out as you mean to carry on. Because what happens is we start our own business, usually just with us. We're everything in the business initially. We're the technician, we're also the business owner, we're the marketer, we're the admin, we're all the things initially. And what we tend to do is we tend to keep all of those systems and skills in our heads, and we don't systemize things as if it were a franchise. We then get a new staff person or employ someone, and then we have to start getting everything out of our heads and teaching them how to run that component of the business. And what we tend to do is we do all of this without systemizing anything. So if that person leaves, then we're stuck and back to square one, rather than putting in things in systems so that everything can work seamlessly, whether you are there or not, just like a franchise. And what I tell people is that they should be doing this from day one, from the beginning of your business. Don't treat your business like you're a solopreneur. Treat your business like it's a franchise. So this is one of the principles that are in the book. And the third principle is that the franchise approach makes sure that you build a business based on systems and not on people. Your business is only as good as the systems you have in place. And that's why creating systems is so important. And so many businesses fail to do this. And when they fail to create systems and they're relying on the people, it can be really, really hard. And if you're in your own business, you'll 100% relate to this, where you struggle with the people. Your staff aren't exactly where you want them to be, or they're not up to scratch, or they don't show up. Whatever your staff complaint is it's probably more a systems complaint than a human complaint. If you have good systems and you're a good leader in those systems, you will eliminate a whole lot of these problems. The other thing that I really love about the book is the book focuses on the reason that we all start a business, and that is a principle of life. And that is that our business is a way to get more out of our life. It's more than just a job. And if we're not careful, all we do is create ourselves a job rather than creating a business that can serve us in a really positive way. So the book really helps you to connect with that principle, and it helps you to work a way forward on how you are able to do that. One of the things that we often struggle with as business owners is that we get quite emotional about our business because it's a baby to us. We've put our soul into this business and it is part of us. But what Michael Gerber gets us to do is he gets us to view our business as something separate from who you are, as a product of you, and you will be able to reinvent it. It's about taking a step outside of your business and looking into it objectively, which when you work on your business rather than in it, you are so much more able to do that. And that helps us to grow the business in ways that you can't even believe. So that's one of the things that I took away from this book more than anything, even when I was that young 22-year-old. And ever since then, I've always created businesses that I've worked on rather than in. that takes me to the next part of the book, which really the whole essence of the book is about working on your business and not in it as the service provider. You might be excellent at what you do, but you need to find people who are even better at what you do than you are, which is challenging in itself. But once you find those people, they can become the excellent technicians while you focus on building your business, not merely cranking out the service-based work that you're doing, right? Back to systemizing, viewing your business as a system, and a system that does all the work and that the people run the system. So your team comes in and they run the system that you create. With the system, it's flexible, as in you can grow the system and it evolves. My business has a great system in place. The way that it works is that it 100% works without me. I don't need to be there ever. The system just ticks along and works by itself, really, without me having any input. And that is exactly what the book is all about. I've created my business 100% as Michael Gerber explains we should create our businesses. And it works. It works because I'm basically redundant in my law firm. I'm not needed there at all for the business to survive or make any income. And that is a great relief, because what that means is that if I get sick, if I want to go on holiday or anything, if I drop dead tomorrow, I don't need to worry about who's going to look after the business or what's going to happen, because the business will take care of itself, because it's got a system in place where everything just runs very smoothly even when I'm not there. Imagine having a business where the pressure is not on you, where you're not having to worry about all of the things yourself. And I know exactly what it's like to be worrying about all of the things myself, because it wasn't always that way. I wasn't always systemized, and it wasn't always running in a way where it didn't need me anymore, because it does take time to get to that place, which is what I teach in the Scalable Business Lounge. I teach you over time how to create a system in your business so that you are not required there anymore. If you want to be there, go for your life. And, you know, I love being in my business, but the difference is that it's a choice, and you have the freedom of choice when you are in a position that your business doesn't need you there. It's so absolutely stressful when everything is going to fall apart if you're not there. That is the worst position to be in. So if you are in that position, 100%, please read this book, The E-Myth Revisited. You can get it on audio. You can pick it up from any online book retailer or bookstore. Like I said before, the book is really simple and it is a fabulous read. You will meet Sarah, who is a pie shop owner, and you will walk through her business journey and your eyes will be opened as to some of the things that maybe you're doing in your business and why it is that you have not been able to grow your business as you expected. If you pick up that book, I would love to hear what you think of it and if you can relate to it and if it's helped you at all. And also, if you are wanting a little bit more help, you can head on over to my website, caroleefontanelli.com, where you will see that I have an amazing online program called the Scalable Business Lounge, where I can help you systemize your business in exactly the same way that I have systemized mine, which ultimately will help you to become free so that you're not shackled to your business and so that you aren't shackled to a job and the worst boss ever, but instead you create a business in the way that you always dreamed of, which probably is to have more freedom and more profit and to be able to enjoy more of the things that you love in life. That is all that I have for you today. I hope that you've enjoyed today's podcast, and I would love to hear from you. If you have read the E-Myth or if you are about to read the E-Myth, just contact me on Instagram and DM me or leave me a review. Would be fabulous to hear from you. All right, have a fabulous week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Being Unstoppable podcast, brought to you by my personal brand, Freebies, which you can find at caroleefontanelli.com. If you got value from this week's episode, I would love it if you would hit subscribe and take a minute to leave me a review. You can connect with me on Instagram or Facebook. Just search for Carolee Fontanelli. Until next time, remember, if you believe in yourself, you will be unstoppable.